stripes in the military.
Hmm.
It was normal. Like me going to prison was part of the plan. Because in my mind, I was a criminal. I wanted to be a drug dealer. I wanted to sell drugs. I wanted to do bad things, right? I wanted to hustle. We were always in fights, guns and knives and just craziness, right? Until you sit in a box for a year, you start to think different.
Welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast, where we bring to you the most successful, happy, fulfilled gentlemen from around the world who have been able to conquer themselves, their life, their marriage, and their businesses. You will be learning from four-dimensional gentlemen who have cracked the code to the science of having it all. The question is, how can married entrepreneurs with kids become gentlemen, achieve true freedom, and build a successful, happy, and fulfilled life, marriage, and business? This show will give you the answer for that. My name is Alex Ramirez, and I'm your host, and you're welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, Fulfillment Talk podcast. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast. As always, I have an incredible guest with us today that I'm very excited to get to talk to, learn from, and connect with. Before I introduce this gentleman to you, though, I just want to give a big shout out to all of you who have been leaving comments, reviews, and likes on all the major podcasting platforms, Apple, Google, and Spotify, and to those who have been watching on YouTube as well. Thank you very much. And today, I want to ask you for a small favor. I want to ask you that if you get something out of this interview, if you get some type of value, some type of information, a skill, a new insight, or the inspiration to go out and take action and make some progress towards your goals, I want to ask you to please share this episode with 10 people. Share it on your social media, on your Instagram, post the link, share it through message, WhatsApp. Share it with 10 people, since this is how we grow. This is how we're able to share our message and motivate, inspire, and bless other men out there to change their lives. And today I have Brad Modrich. Is that cool? I got it right?
Yep, Modrich.
Right, awesome. Yep. Brad Modrich, he's a father, husband, and multi-passionate businessman who's making waves in the world of business. And he created his fame in Pennsylvania and the Pennsylvania market for nearly 2 decades as a fitness guru and sales and marketing expert, and served as one of the vice presidents of the National Health Club chains, which was, what was the National Health Club chains that you worked with?
I was with LA Fitness.
There you go. Right. And his client dedication and customer service skills were impeccable and honorable. He's a published author, investor, and one of the co-founders of the Trifecta Credit Solution, along with a few other businessmen. And he's also a United States Marine and a highly successful certified trainer, personal trainer with, over 20 years of experience. He's a dedicated, he's dedicated to a commitment of making a difference in the world and changing people's lives. And, that's one of the reasons that he's here. And so thank you very much, Brad. Thank you very much for being here, man. I really appreciate your time, and you are welcome.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate you reaching out.
Awesome. So, man, the first thing that I do with my guest is I ask them to walk us through their entrepreneurial journey in 75 seconds or less.
75 seconds or less. Was an entrepreneur. Well, first off, I'm a high school dropout, convicted felon, served 4 years in prison. I was an entrepreneur in my teens because I was stealing everything that wasn't tied down. Then I started hustling. So I had the spirit of entrepreneurship in me at a young age. Fast forward, got out of the Marines, moved down to Florida, started a drug empire in the ecstasy game. The feds didn't like that too much, so they came, did what they had to do, did 4 years in federal prison. And when I was in prison, I vowed I would never, ever go back there again. And that's when I started the personal development, got out of prison, got my certification, became a personal trainer, stepped into the fitness industry, and was an amazing entrepreneur for LA Fitness. I really did act like I owned the place. I think that's one of the reasons why I did so well. And in 2018, I started to really understand what my worth was. And I took the entrepreneurial plunge. My wife and I, we opened up multiple businesses in 2018, 2019, and we just started to grow from there. And we're continuing to grow.
Nice. Awesome. What a journey, man.
Yeah,
Holy.
it was
Yeah,
pretty nuts.
that was an insane journey, man. In 75 seconds. How old are you right now?
I'll be 47 this year.
And how do you feel, man? Because I mean, you look great, but how do you feel?
Feel like
Even
I'm
greater?
25.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I know a very a very wise man who says, he's like 48 as well, and he's like, I'm 48. I feel 25. I can have fun like a 15-year-old kid or 10-year-old kid, but I have the wisdom of an 80-year-old.
That's right.
Right. So he's 48. He looks and feels 25. He can have fun. He has like the spirit of a kid, like a 10-year-old kid, but has the
Yep.
wisdom of an 80-year-old.
That's
Right.
me.
Awesome,
100%.
man. And that's what I'm looking for. This is why, in the last 6 months, I've had over 115 podcasts, talking to men like you, men who are decades ahead of me. Right. And the purpose of this is to collapse time, not only for me, but for other men out there. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Right. I'm looking for wisdom, discernment, and amplitude of heart, and love is all I ask for every single day. So awesome, man. So let's see. So you decided to, all right. So you realized your value, right? You realized your value, and then decided to jump all into entrepreneurship by yourself.
Yeah.
So what triggered that jump into entrepreneurship? Like, what did you realize that made you want to go all in on yourself?
There comes a point, I believe, in every person's life where they have to have an honest conversation on what their goals are. And I think, and let me just go back. I started personal development right when I got out of, well, actually in prison. Being locked up for 4 years makes a person think, right? You got a lot to think about. You got a lot of downtime. And I'm a firm believer that one of two things are going to happen when you get out of prison, when you go into prison. You're either going to be a better criminal,
Okay.
or you're going to get rehabbed. It's one or the other. It's going to sharpen you in terms of what that craft was. Because I mean, there was, I remember the day. I remember the day clearly. I went out to go smoke a cigarette. And when I went out to the smoking deck, there was a guy there. He was about 60 years old. And I looked at him and he looked at me and he asked me, he was like, is this what you're going to do for the rest of your life, kid? And at that point, I was like, absolutely not. There's no way. And this guy was, jailhouse tatted up, teeth missing, hair looking all crazy. And I flicked my cigarette out. I went upstairs. I enrolled in my GED. I started taking marketing classes. That was the pivotal time where I said, no, I am not going to be a career criminal. Because at that point, you gotta understand. Maybe I didn't tell the story the right way. When I got locked up, my first year, I was in solitary confinement because the prison that they put me at, I grew up with one of the corrections officers, and the federal guidelines are no COs can know or have any affiliation with any of the inmates. So they locked me up in the hole. They put me in the hole. So I was in the hole. Thought about committing suicide, thought about a million things when you're sitting in an 8x4 box 24 hours a day.
Holy shit. That's crazy.
For a year, you start to think different.
Yeah.
How did I get here? And, it was almost, did you ever see the movie Goodfellas?
No.
Okay. Classic Italian mob movie, right? Classic Italian mob movie. And there's this part where one of the young little, teenagers gets arrested, who was like running like little errands for like the mob guys. And he gets pinched and he didn't rat. He kept his mouth shut. And when this kid gets out of court, all the mob guys are standing outside the courtroom. And the second this young teenager comes walking out, they're like, hey, you broke your cherry, man. And they were like, they were commending him for getting arrested, right? There was like a celebration for him getting popped and keeping his mouth shut, right? Street law, right? When I got arrested, I felt like that was just a part of the game of me and what it was going to look like. I almost felt like it was like, It was me earning my stripes in the military.
Hmm.
It was normal. Like me going to prison was part of the plan. Because in my
Damn.
mind, I was a criminal. I wanted to be a drug dealer. I wanted to sell drugs. I wanted to do bad things, right? I wanted to hustle. We were always in fights, guns and knives and just craziness, right? Until you sit in a box for a year, you start to think different.
So how's that experience, man? Do your like thoughts get extremely loud
Extremely loud.
and negative?
It was like a year roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down. That's the best explanation I could use. It changed on the day. It was, I don't wish it on anyone. I really don't. Unless you're a piece of garbage, then, you know, you deserve to be where you need to be. But coming from where I came from, and even though we were doing bad things, we were still good fellas. Like,
Yeah.
we were good guys. You know what I mean? Like, we would hold doors open for old ladies, and we would be polite, and, you know, we would say, "Good morning, sir." Like, we
On
were
the
polite.
on the wrong direction, right? That's it.
Yeah, man. And make a long story short, you just have that moment where you just, it's time. So that happened in prison. And when I got out, I was always into fitness. I was always into lifting and working out and training. I got a job as a personal trainer, and I won't forget the lady, Shelly Pulaski Fisher. She picked me up. She hired me fresh out of prison. She gave me a chance, and that's all I needed was a chance. She opened up the door. She knew my background. I worked my ass off, and then the opportunity for LA Fitness came into play. And once they opened their doors, I just started running. I love sales because I was a hustler. I loved fitness. So it was like, I get to sell fitness. For me, it was the perfect job.
Nice.
Like, and the culture, you know, with LA Fitness, you know, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for LA Fitness.
Yeah, 100%.
I wouldn't be. The culture, like, you know, Mr. Welch and Mr. Yee, the owners, they created an amazing culture. And then it just, you know, natural evolution, you start to grow. And this is going to happen to you. There's no question about it. As you continue to grow, as your vision starts to get bigger, as you continue to consistently lay brick after brick after brick, you are going to grow. You are going to see things differently. You're going to hear things differently. You're going to act differently. This is the natural part of evolution, right? For your term, the modern gentleman, that modern gentleman is a constantly evolving organic thing, right? It's that person that's always looking to become better, right? It's a relentlessness. It's a wanting, it's the point of you never, ever giving up on wanting to become a better person. And something happens at some point because, and let me just kind of just paraphrase this, because something's going to happen. And that one thing that's going to happen is you're going to consistently lay brick over brick over brick over brick. And you're not going to see the return on the investment. It's going to happen. You're going to question yourself. Did I do the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? It's going to be a roller coaster. But I can tell you this, if you're consistent and you're disciplined on a daily basis, every day you're consistent, you lay that brick, even when you don't want to, even when there's something in your head that's telling you to stop, and you could take a day off and you could take a break, you consistently lay that brick every single day. I promise you, you are going to be able to turn around and look back at your tracks. And this is where the growth happens. You're going to be able to turn around and you're going to look at what you actually did, not what you said you were going to do, what you actually did. And that will feed your ethos. That will feed and add bricks to the character of who you are. Does this make sense?
Yeah, 100%. It's
right?
a feedback
loop. You're going to be able to look at it. And because you actually did it, that's going to build. And then you build off of that. Then it starts to build confidence. Then it starts to build your character. Then, especially with what you're doing in digital land,
Identity.
it's going to build your identity, one, and your credibility.
Okay.
Your credibility and your identity, they're the same coin, because your identity is part of your character. Your character is part of your credibility. For me, I grew up on the streets. Having street cred was everything to me. If I said I was going to do something, I did it. There was no question about it. That is the identity of Brad Modrich. If I say I'm like here, like even you, I said I was going to be on here, I'm on here. And that right there, combined with discipline, a ridiculous work ethic, and consistency, that will get you to where you're looking to get to. And I promise you, when you get there, it's a pretty cool place.
Yeah. Well, I'm starting to see all the pieces falling into place, man. Right? Like you mentioned, you started, when you were locked up in that 8x4 box, right? You started to get clear on asking yourself a lot of questions, starting to question everything, and you started to get clear on what is it that you actually wanted, right? So getting clear on what you actually want is so powerful, because like it's been a couple of years since since I think I know what I want, right? Like you said, as I grow, my vision gets bigger and better. But since 2 years ago, I decided that, you know what, like this is it. Like, I realized the modern gentleman thing in my story, and I'm like, this is it. This is what I'm going to be doing. And I got really clear on what I want, right? And what I want to do. I want to build a world movement helping men become modern gentlemen, right? Because I believe that life is all about purpose, growth, and contribution, right? So it's about being a purpose-driven, right, growth-centric, a growing, accelerating, evolving, compounding human being who contributes, right? Who gets better and better and helps others become better and better as well. That's all I live for. And when I got clear on what I wanted, I just started building towards that, man. And there's literally nothing holding me back towards laying a brick every single day towards what I want, right? So this weekend, I was meditating and a name popped into my head, and it was Understanding a Modern Queen, which is the podcast that I just started. That was on Saturday. I was meditating. That name popped up. My service is, podcasting. We combine podcasting with a concept called the Cloak Track to build a multi-million-dollar network. And this idea came to me, and I already have a new podcast, going, which is called Understanding a Modern Queen, because a very important part of being a modern gentleman is having your queen by your side, building with you. And I already got Elena Cardon, Danielle White, and then another really powerful woman to be on my podcast, right?
Good for you.
Yeah, because one of the best ways to connect with high-level men is what? Women, right? So
100%. Great idea.
And I'm building, man. Like I know what I want, and I'm building. I'm just building. Nothing is holding me back.
Good for you,
feels,
bub.
I don't know how to explain how it feels. But you probably know.
It's humbling, and it's a feeling of gratitude and accomplishment.
Humbling, gratitude, and accomplishment.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Perfectly said. So you started to get clear, man, in that box, right? Mm-hmm. So what were some of the insights that you gained? Like what was it that you got clear about?
A lot of people talk about clarity in their vision, and I knew I wanted to be in the fitness industry, right? I knew, and there's still some pieces that are slowly working on the back end right now to become part of a bigger brand that's in the process of being built. But for me, it wasn't about this clarity of vision of fitness industry. I knew I like to build people. Like I build people. I build culture. I can build character. I can build.
Sorry for the interruption. If you're an aspiring, established coach, course creator, author, and speaker, I want to extend an invitation to check out my free training on the podcast Cloak Track Framework by clicking on the link in the description of this podcast. On this training, you're going to learn how combining podcasting with a rare concept that very few people know about called the Cloak Track can help you build a multi-million-dollar network of successful people who can become your clients, put you in front of hundreds of your ideal clients with your message, coaching, courses, and books, help you become a best-selling author, get you booked to speak on stages. We're even making an extra $237,600 in the next 6 months. Click on the link of the description of this podcast to learn about the 4 simple steps to make this work. Step number 1 is alignment. Aligning who you're trying to be, what you're trying to do, your goals and purpose with building your podcast so that podcasting is a vehicle that helps you achieve your goals. Step number 2 is leveraging the cloak track to find an unlimited supply of your ideal podcast guest. Step number 3 is leveraging the cloak track to close an interview with anyone, no matter how rich, famous, or out of your league they may seem. And step number 4 is the content machine, which is the key to tapping into other people's audiences. These are the 4 steps to making the podcast cloak track framework work, and I'm not going to hold anything back on this training. So click on the link in the description of this podcast, go and check it out. And once you've done that, if you feel like this would help, we also have a complimentary, free, absolutely free alignment call to get you started and show you exactly how to implement everything. Get access to the training right now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. Bye-bye.
It's mindset. I like to build people. That's where my strength comes in, is getting people to understand the power that they got within them, that, if done properly, and I'm very candid about this. And this is one thing that a lot of people in this day and age like to do, is they like to sugarcoat it. I don't sugarcoat shit. Like, it's, I had someone come up to me and they're like, hey, do you think I could do this? And I'm just like, no, you can't. They're like, what do you mean? What? I thought you were supposed to be like this motivation person. And I'm like, I don't want to motivate people, because motivation's temporary. I want to inspire. I want action. After you speak to me, I want you to take action. That's how I know I did my job. Because anybody can get up here and they could just, spit some positive Instagram quotes and talk about cliche mottos. But what are you actually going to do about it? Right? And if you're in my circle here, I'm gonna share a great story with you. One of my brothers, his name's Eric. He's in, I don't know if I'm in the RTA syndicate.
Yeah, I'm super familiar with it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I'm a founding member in the accelerator program, and now I'm part of the RTA syndicate. That's led by Andy and Ed Andy Frisella and Ed Milet. Those are my 2 coaches. A gentleman comes up to me, good friend of mine, I met through First Form, and comes up to me and he's just like, hey man, mind you, we were in this big concert type of setting. Like, there was a party going around us everywhere. Everyone's having a good time. They're drinking, smiling. He comes walking up to me, gives me love. What's up, Brad? How are you? And I was like, what's up, man? And he goes, man, he starts bitching about his job. I said, listen, stop. I don't want to hear about it. If you're not happy with your job, quit your job. Don't come bitching to me about your job. If you're not happy, quit your job. Find a new job. Make sense? He's like, yeah. On to the next one. And then he starts talking about, oh man, I want to open a gym. And I'm just like, this gym. He started talking about this gym concept. I said, let me just pump the brakes right there. I said, me and my people, if we say we're going to do something, we do it. I keep hearing all this chirping about you wanting to do a gym. Either do it or shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear about, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that. I'm not that dude. If you want to do something, get the game plan together and make it happen. Otherwise, cut it off. I don't want to hear about it. I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy that you tell me your wants and your dreams and your hopes. I'm that guy that puts action to work. So if you say you're going to do something and there's something that you want to do and you're going to do, don't tell me what you want to do. Tell me how you're going to do it. I don't got time for lip service. And immediately, I'm so proud of this young man. That Monday, he calls me. He puts the game plan together. 3 to 4 weeks later, he quits his job. 2 weeks from now, he's about to open up his gym. That was almost a year ago that we had that conversation. So not only did he do what he said he was going to do, but he took action. He took immediate action. And that's the differentiator. That's the difference between the people who make shit happen and the people who talk about what's going to happen, is taking the actionable steps to make it happen. That's the differentiator.
I 100% agree, man. So action. So why do you think people don't take action?
No, you want to go down this rabbit hole? Lazy, entitled, self-doubt, imposter syndrome. There's a million reasons. And I think everyone can use an excuse. I don't know how, right? Could you agree with this? Everyone uses the excuse, I don't know how.
I don't know how. I'm too young. I'm too old. I'm sick. Whatever, right?
They always give you an excuse. But the big one is, I don't know how. And I say to people this, do you have a cell phone? Yes.
Google it.
Google it. You can find out anything. Go on YouTube. You can figure anything out in today's day and age. And if you say, I don't know how, that's the biggest bullshit excuse. You're lazy and you're not willing to put in the work. That's the real reason.
Yeah. So awesome. So man, because I started hiring this year, right? I started becoming like a CEO finally and building my team. And I'm going to get to $1 million by the end of this year, to $1 million per year with my business. And I know exactly how. Like I have a step by step roadmap, right? Like it's happening, right? It's already done, in fact. But I'm wanting to like become a better leader. I'm wanting to like build people, build character, build mindsets. Because I've realized in this past couple of months that like it's not about me, it's about like my people, right? Like they're the ones who honestly like do everything, and I'm just like the one leading the entire thing. And I want to get better at that, and I want to get better at building people, building character, and building the type of people who are like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go Google how to do this better, this process that we have or whatever.
So do you have core values with your company?
Respect, humility, wisdom, excellence, motivate, inspire, and bless. That's what we do.
Those are your core values.
Yeah. And there's an explanation behind every single one of them. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then what's your mission statement?
So, well, everything is this, right? Like building modern gentlemen, helping men become the best versions of themselves, live up to their.
Let me ask you another question. Sorry to cut you off. So your core values, when you're hiring people, because I want to be very clear, because a lot of people have core values, but the core values should be how you run your company. And what I mean by that, and some people fail to neglect this part.
Okay.
So we have core values, right? I have core values for Trifecta. We have core values for Just Aesthetic Nursing. We have core values. Even let's take First Form, right? I'll use First Form because I didn't get this. I got this from Andy. Andy's, the owner of First Form, and I carry this around with me, right? These are the First Form core values, right?
Okay.
You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to kind of read them off, right? So the First Form core values are loyalty, go the extra mile, stay humble, be disciplined, accept responsibility, take initiative, lead by example, build a positive and fun relationship, always be learning, be selfless, be enthusiastic, and believe, right? We have 11 core values. Now, in those core values,
I don't know, man. I don't know if I run my company with my core values, but I do run myself. So I guess that spills a little bit over, right?
Okay.
But yeah.
So your core values should be something that you could always train your employee with. So here, I'll give you an example. The go the extra mile. This is the biggest core value with First Form. It's the go the extra mile. They actually have an award ceremony every year. And the Go the Extra Mile award is like it's like the Vince Lombardi trophy of their awards.
Cool.
I'll give you an example. Let me dial it back. Someone called their customer service line the one day, right? Or here, I'll give you the one from the store because he has supplement superstores. I'll use one of my employees because Go the Extra Mile is one of ours, right?
Okay.
Because it's such an important part. We had a client call in, and the client called in, and there were some things on this person's credit that they could have done on their own, right? And the rep, after I talked to the rep came in and I said, what happened with that client? And he was like, oh, we really couldn't do anything for him. I said, well, let me take a look. Let me see his case. Now, mind you, because I heard the conversation and the rep heard that he couldn't make a deal. He couldn't get a sale. So the second he realized he couldn't get a sale, he cut the phone call short. I said, so let me ask you a question, Mr. Sales Rep. How did this not align with our core values? And he's like, what do you mean? And we pull out our core values. Which one of these core values do you think you missed with this opportunity with this client? He was like, and he's going through the core values, transparency, right? Accountability. And then he gets to the go the extra mile. He said, I didn't go the extra mile. I said, how different would this have been if we could have taken an extra 10 minutes with this guy to explain what he can do on his own, giving him all of those little nuggets for free, even if we didn't get his money? How about we go the extra mile and we get him dialed in with his Credit Karma? We got him dialed in with getting him as an authorized user on another account. We did things that he could do in addition that didn't cost us nothing. All we had to do was give him time. Do you think that person would remember who the company was that helped him do that? Even though we didn't take any money? That's going the extra mile. So where I'm going with this, Alex, is when you have core values, your core values should be your navigation system for your employees. Everything about, so when I hire someone and we bring someone on board, I make sure that they understand our core values. Like, it's unquestionable. Number one, we are transparent, right? That's one of our crystal clear, like, we are transparent about our whole process, right? Accountability. Like, we hold each other accountable to do the right thing. Do the right thing is another one, right? That's our number one core value. We always do the right thing for our clients. So when you have core values and you train on your core values from an employee standpoint, that's what's going to create culture.
Cool.
And when you create culture based on your core values, you can't go wrong, because it's not about sales. It's not about money. It's about your impact. So just be sure that when you're setting up your core values and you're putting your company's core values together, that those core values are in line with the purpose and the mission of the company. And then you manage the expectations of your employees to follow those core values. And that's how you lead your team. Those core values will help you navigate and create the impact that you want to create. Does that make sense?
It does, 100%. Yeah, it totally makes sense. I understand.
Super, super, super important.
Thank you. Yeah. So, because I do have core values. I remind myself of them every single day, right? I have them like here. As soon as I go through my morning routine, I have them in my vision board on my living room here, and then on my other living room downstairs. So like, I'm seeing them and I'm living by them every single day, right? Me, like, I operate through my core values and by my core values and with my core values. But yeah, maybe like not maybe, it's missing, right? Like in my business, like training with core values and, always referring back to them and making them be like the guiding needle, like the compass for my employees. Yeah, 100%. So thank you. Yeah, the great advice, man.
You should have that branding all over your office, all over your website, your core values, because then that's what people identify as, right? So we have core values with Arete, right? Create a positive impact. That's our number one core value, creating a positive impact, being a lifetime student. Excellence is enough, right? It's essential. Being a lifetime student, dominating, like just being a dominator, like these core values is the ethos of Arete. So then that becomes the DNA of your people. And if they don't see it, it doesn't work on your reticular activating center, right? If it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So when you're talking about it and you're talking about, let's talk today about, always be learning, like being a lifetime student. Like, what does that mean to be a representative of the modern gentleman? Like always, like, and I'm just using that as an example. And then you teach them what that means to be a lifetime student, or you teach them what that means to go the extra mile. Now you're ingraining this into their head, and that DNA of what the modern gentleman team looks like. It's based on your core values.
Awesome. And that's the key. That's the key, right? For leadership and building culture?
It's building people. You got to remember, as an entrepreneur, you're building people.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people get it messed up when they start running business. And this is just my thought.
Because they think they're building businesses?
They think they're building businesses, but at the end of the day, you're building people. And I got this from my brother, Sal Frisella. We build people, and then the people build the business.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Get focused on building people. That's what we do. We build people, and the people will build the business.
I love that, man. So, that goes a little bit into a deeper level, since I had this realization that business and life are all about people, right? And that's what led me to start this podcast, because if business and life are all about people, well, then let me go out and make connections, through using a podcast, right? And now, like, I'm not building a business. I'm building people that will build my business. Yeah. They'll build a business that will impact more people.
Yeah.
They'll build more people. And that's great, man. And I actually think that I'm doing a good job. There's always, room for improvement and for more excellence. But like, my team members are going out of their way to like create systems and do their job better, because they know, because like I'm always like sharing the vision, sharing where we're going, right? Because they know that our team is going to be growing and they want to be leaders. And I tell them to whatever they do, create a system for whatever they do, because later on they'll have more people who will do whatever it is that they do right now, and they must be able to lead them. So like, they create systems and stuff. And so
here, let me give you a little piece of your own medicine. Create a system
for that,
specifically on building your people.
Damn.
Create a system. Like, I have a system specifically designed to create and build my people.
Yeah.
Because you have a system for everything else. Why don't you have a system, an intentional system to build your people? So we have getaways, we have team building events, we have family nights, we have things that are going to build people. We do continued education for our injectors. We're taking them to do things that no other injectors, no other med spas are doing with their injectors. We are doing with our team, right? I want to make sure, and again, let me rephrase that. My wife and I,
okay.
We want to make sure that our injectors don't have any type of nonsense because there's some nonsense in the industry. So we've created a system where we built our people so good. We want them so good as injectors, as mothers or fathers, as leaders. Because if you don't have a system to build your people, you don't have a business. I promise you.
Cool. I think I do have one, man. The freedoms: physical freedom, emotional freedom, sentimental freedom, financial freedom.
But now peel it back a layer. Okay. Physical. My whole credit repair team is, especially, and I got to praise the girls on my team, every female in my credit repair company took an 8-week challenge, because they know I'm like Joe Fitness.
Okay.
They all lost weight. They're all changing their body. Now, again, it's one thing to talk about the physical, but now what are you going to do to help them get there? I got them all with a coach. Their coach is helping them get their macros dialed in, get their workouts dialed in, right?
Cool.
Now, I got
that's going the extra mile, man.
Yeah. Going the extra mile. You see how this works? Now I got a team of women that are just hungry. They're ready. They're losing weight. They're feeling good. They're confident. They're stress relieved, right? They're holding each other accountable because they're a little bit more aggressive, because they're working out and training. They're feeling good. They're on their A game. That's a system for building people, right? Then let's just say the mental. At least
holy man, this is a complete new like mindset. Like, most people are just trying to make a quick buck, wherever they look. But like, this is the real deal, right? This is like building empires.
Bro, making money is mechanical. I can tell you that right now. Making money is mechanical. Building people, that's where it's at. You put your time and efforts in building your people. I guarantee you the ROI on that investment from really taking a fucking hardcore look at how can I make my people better, your business will 10x. I promise you that.
Awesome.
Build
But I
your-
interrupted you with something. So what were you going to say?
Don't know. Lost it.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Build your
Yeah.
people. Build your people.
Cool.
Right. Oh, I know what I was saying. So mental. Once a month, I get into their head in a good way.
Okay.
And I give them something that they really understand about becoming mentally strong. So I have 4 pillars, right? Very similar to yours: physical fitness, mental fitness, spiritual fitness. All of mine are fitness. I'm a fitness guy. And financial fitness, right?
And what? Financial fitness?
And financial fitness.
Got it.
So those are like my 4 pillars. So I try to do something on every one of those.
Every single day.
I do those every day. Like it's unquestionable. I work on those 4 pillars. But for my team, like I got my partner, I created this group, me and another buddy created this group about Warriors for Christ. And it's for men that are really trying to just understand what that relationship with God looks like. I still can't, when I say this, I still can't even believe that I created this group, because it's just, I'm still new in my walk, right? And I never really talked about God a lot before. But I know May 14th of 2020, I dropped down on my knees and I started praying. And there's no coincidence about it. 2020 was the most amazing year I ever had. 2021 blew 2020 out of the water. 2022 is about to blow 2021 out of the water. And I know that one thing that has been consistent has been my faith in God and my prayer in God, and get rid of the vices. So now, working on the spiritual, I'm having these conversations with my team. My partners are going to church. We're all thinking, we're all praying, again, it's building your people.
Yeah.
And most companies aren't going to do that because they're worried about the mechanics. And I'll say it again: you build your people will build the business that you want.
I'm ready to go out and start building people, man.
Love it.
Man, I have 5 questions for you. We have a couple of minutes, and I want to make sure I have to ask them.
Shoot.
So if you could give your 20-year-old self some advice, what would that be?
I get this question a lot. You may not like this answer.
All right.
I can't go talk to my 21-year-old self. All I know is what I could do today. And what I can do today is take action on my physical, my mental, and my spiritual.
Awesome.
You focus on those 3. You focus on those 3 right now. First, the physical. Got to get your body in check, because the mind will go where the body goes. I'm very adamant about this. Okay? Get your body, start your body moving. I don't care. Go for a walk. Start walking. You don't have to join a gym. You don't have to do anything where you're looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Get your body moving. Once you get your body moving, you change the physiology of your body. When you change the physiology of your body, you change your mental state. Then feed yourself. Read a book. Read something. I don't care. 10 pages a day. Do something that's going to help feed your mind with positive things that are going to help build you. And then you slowly start working on those 2, right? You're building your physical, you're building your mental. Then your spirit, your ethos is going to change, because you're going to feel good. You're going to start feeling good about something. Your spirit will change, and feed that. You start building your physical, your mental, your spiritual. My hand to the big man. The financial will follow.
Yeah.
I promise you.
And it will be great. So like,
and
me,
it will
man,
be great.
Yeah, like, so, man, if I had started to make money like from like very early on, like very fast, that would have fed my ego, and I would have gotten my sense of significance from making money, and I would have doubled down on all of that and neglected all of the other areas of my life. But because it didn't work like that, I was forced to gain my success, happiness, and fulfillment from working on my physical freedom, emotional freedom, myself, right? My spirituality, my body, my mind, sentimental freedom, becoming a husband and a father. And, I got my success, happiness, and fulfillment from working on all of those three. And now that the money is finally coming, like everything is great.
It's a universal language, brother.
And I was happy before even starting to make, business
Money.
work, right? And now like it's really cool. I'm a modern
That
gentleman,
works.
man.
Our ideologies are very much in line.
Yeah, really cool. Same message, different messenger, right?
That's it.
The second question is mindset. So what is one mindset shift that you've had that you can share that you think is contributing to your success?
Discipline.
Okay.
Discipline.
Got it.
Discipline is everything.
Okay,
Discipline.
yeah, simple.
Discipline to do two things. To do the things you say you're going to do, and discipline to say no to the things that keep you from it. Let me repeat that again. Discipline is everything. Discipline to do the things that you said that you were going to do. That's number one. And discipline to say no to the things that keep you from it. If you have discipline over those two things, you can control the conversation in your mind. And if you can control the conversation in your mind, that is what will turn into actionable steps. I promise you.
Yeah. Two very important disciplines.
Very.
Because they're a muscle.
That's the mental.
They're a muscle. Like the
again.
more if you say you're going to do something and you do it, right, that you're building your discipline muscle, you're building your ability to do the things that that you say you're going to do. But if you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you build the muscle of letting yourself down.
That's right.
Right.
Agreed, man.
Mindset map. So, man, clarity, right? So we talked about clarity at the beginning of the podcast. Do you have any advice for people who may lack or need some clarity in their life?
Great question. I am a big fan of whiteboards. So when people are seeking clarity, it's usually, especially in today's day and age, with this thing being so relevant and looking and scanning and flipping and tossing and up and down, and you got so much chatter going on in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when there's a lack of clarity or focus, number one, it's because the desire isn't there for what they really want. Or two, they got too much information running around in their head. So anytime that people are, and here, I'll show you this. I am a huge whiteboard guy. I got two massive whiteboards in my office.
Yeah.
I whiteboard everything. Anytime I have an idea or I lack clarity or I lack focus, I do a brain dump and I write everything out. I make a master list of all of the things that I want. And then using a very simple concept of keeping it simple and prioritizing and executing that focus. Make the master list, brain dump, then take it out. What do I want? Okay, so we're going to launch a new brand in the beginning of the fourth quarter. I got all these ideas that I want. I literally was doing this right before the podcast started. I got to make a master list of everything that I need to put into this business, from trademarking to LLCs, to bank accounts, to branding, to agendas, to syllabus, to curriculum, all this. And it's like, oh, I don't know where to start. I'm unfocused right now. I brain dump and I slowly put the right pieces in the right spot and I prioritize and execute. That's what I would say for focus. Now, the lack of focus with people with desire, it's usually because you don't want it bad enough. Because if you want something bad enough, just think of this simple concept. You want a new iPhone, you figure out a way to get a new iPhone. You want a new pair of sneakers, you figure out a way to get a new pair of sneakers. Let's take it back to dating. You wanted to date the hot chick or you wanted to date the hot dude. You figured out a way how to date the hot chick or date the hot dude. You figured it out. When there's something that it is that you want, you figure it out. So in most cases, when people lack focus, it's because they don't really want it. They may think they want it, but they don't really want it.
And what do you do to want it?
It's just having an honest conversation with yourself. Is this really what I want?
Really want it? Yeah.
Yeah. Is this really what I want? What's the outcome? What's it going to look like when I have it? And one thing that's helped keep me focused is not just looking at right now. I've really been focused on what does 10 years look like from now.
Yeah.
Like really in my meditation, in my morning, I could see my house on the water. I could see our cabin up in the mountains. I could see this life. I could see flying private. I could see it. And if you can't see it in your mind, you're never going to be able to hold it in your hand. I promise you that.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that. Great advice, man. Mindset map, motion. So, what is one habit that you have that you think is contributing to your success? One habit.
My morning routine.
Cool. How does that look like?
Uh, I am institutionalized. You could set a clock to me. I don't care where I'm at. First thing I do when I wake up, let the dog, like this is literally, you could set a clock to it. I'm usually up by 10 to 6 every morning. First thing I do, let the dogs out. They go out. I start my pot of coffee. I get my nutrition in. I take my greens, my reds, all my vitamins. I start cooking, let the dogs back in, feed the dogs. My food's done cooking. I eat my breakfast. So I feed my body the nutrients it needs first. Then the dogs are done playing. They're sitting and I get into my Bible and I read. And I have my moment of gratitude and I really appreciate where I'm at right now. And I tap into this. And this is sometimes a lot of people use it to check it off a box. But the more you could really tap into the emotion of gratitude.
I'm feeling it right now, man.
Like, I am so grateful that I got arrested. Like, I could think about it now. Like, if I didn't get arrested, this wouldn't be happening right now. I am so grateful for my wife. I am like, there's just such a deep love and appreciation for her being such a strong woman, right? I'm grateful for my son. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for the relationships. I'm glad that God has given me, he puts this life into my lungs, into my body and my ethos to allow me to pour into other people. And I take that moment, and then whatever's heavy on my heart, I have that conversation with the big guy, and I just get focused, and I start my day. Then by that time, it's usually about 7:30. I'm at the gym religiously 7 days a week, 7:30. I train for 45 minutes to an hour. And then I'm just, that's my morning routine. Like, my wife knows, do not talk to me before 8:30. I'm locked in, I'm focused. And at 8:30, I start my day. I go through my appointments, confirm, do whatever my money-making activities are, get my money-making activities. And I'm usually done by like 5 o'clock every day. And I check out. Now, there's some people out there that are like, oh, well, I work 17 hours a day. That's good for you. I did that part of my life already. 5 o'clock, I want to check out. I want to go home, I want to make some dinner, break bread with the wife, go for a walk the dogs, play with my kids, do whatever I got to do for my family. That's the life I designed.
Cool. I love it, man. Yeah, that was great. You got me emotional for a little bit. Well, not grateful. That's what you got me. So the last question is, what do you think about measuring and tracking?
Oh, what gets measured gets improved, man.
Here you go.
Metrics are everything. One thing I learned early in my LA Fitness career, and I got this from the owner, another reason why it was such a great organization. He always said, know your people and know your numbers.
Okay, cool.
Right? Know your people, know who they are, know what drives them, know what motivates them. And again, there's metrics to that, but know your numbers. Know your numbers. You got to know your numbers. You got to know your numbers. I am a numbers guy. And again, those metrics, being able to have scalable metrics, again, for growth. And that's everything. Like my weight, there's a metrics for your weight. There's a metrics for your health, right? For when you're lifting weights, it's numbers, right? I don't want to see the weights go down, right? And if the weight goes down, I want to see the reps go up, right? There's numbers. Your bank account, your money, how many lives you touched, how many people that you've changed, how many credit repairs have we done, how many lips have we done? It's all numbers. I'm a big fan that what gets measured gets improved.
Amazing. So, Brad, we're at the end of the episode, man. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of wisdom, right? I learned a lot this podcast in the last hour. And, we didn't get to talk about your podcast, which is, I don't know if it's going to be called, or it's already called Conquer Your Confidence Podcast. I think, I don't know if it's dropped yet. Has it?
It has not. Yep. It's going to be dropping here in like the next 2-3 weeks. It's the Conquer Your Conflict podcast. We all got conflict that we're going through in some way, shape, or form. You know, my question is always going to be, what are you willing to do to fight the fight? What are you willing to do to conquer the conflicts that you have in your life? Because we all have them.
Awesome. Yeah, 100%. So where can we find that? Where are we going to be able to find that?
You'll see it on my social media at Brad Modrich. You'll see I have the Instagram handle at conflict. It's CONFLICT. That's my handle. Just one word, conflict. You'll see it populate on there, but for all of my social media, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, it's all Brad Modrich, BradModrich.
Cool. Awesome.
On everything.
And is your social media the best place to find you?
Yeah, Instagram's probably the best. Instagram, awesome. Facebook.
Well, thank you very much, Brad. I've had a lot of fun. I've learned a lot, and it was an incredible episode. And unless you have anything else to say, man, we can call it a day.
I'm good, brother, man. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, man. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you for watching the Gentleman's Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with one friend, leave us a comment, and let us know. 99% of people never leave a review or comment, but we love and are very thankful with the 1% of you who do. If there's something or someone you want to see on this podcast, send me a message on Instagram at Alex_Ramirez1020 and let me know. As a thank you for that, I have an amazing surprise for each and every one of you who does take the time to leave us a comment or review on YouTube or one of the major podcasting platforms